We're officially 40 weeks. Hey, what's going on, you guys? I am officially 40 weeks. This is my baby's due date. I wanted to hop on here to give one last vlog and kind of recap this whole journey and also offer some encouragement for you first-time mommies that have gone through IVF, fertility treatments, and everything in between. Those that are just starting, those that are considering, those that are currently on this journey at the beginning stages, those that are in the middle stages like the second trimester, and those that are waiting like me. And so this has been a journey. On a serious note, my heart is and my prayers are always in favor of you ladies that are going through this journey, and you couples that are going through this journey. This is like the hardest journey, but the best community that I have ever been a part of. And I'm specifically talking about the IVF and infertility community. You guys have definitely, I'm on several groups and also on TikTok, and this has been the best community, the most uplifting, the most real community that I've ever been a part of in my life, and I'm so thankful for you guys. But nonetheless, as I rewind some of the stages that we kind of went through to get to today, I hope that some of the stuff that I say, you can find some encouragement in it, and that it will kind of just uplift you as you're walking through your journey, as a lot of ladies that were in this space that kind of recap their journey uplifted me, and when I was at the beginning stages of mine. And so to those that are in the considering stages of IVF or IUIs or fertility treatments in general, my encouragement to you is to be well informed of your options. Be well informed of about your doctor's success rates. Be well informed about the clinic, and especially IUIs. For me, I had a laparoscopy in 2020 and a repaired tube, as well as a repaired fimbriae, which is the little hands that kind of pick up the eggs. And so with that in mind, now thinking back to it, I don't think IUIs was the best route for me to go, because I only had the one tube, and the success rate, even having two tubes, was kind of like, so I wish I would have did more research before. And IUIs are not cheap, you know. They're like, at my clinic at the time in Ohio, they were like $500 each time you did it. And I did it once, and I was supposed to do it again before I moved to Atlanta. However, I ovulated on the wrong side, and so this is, you know, almost $1,000, and this was not covered by my insurance, so this is out of my pocket, right? And so not only that, you have to pay for I had a trigger shot, and that was a expense. And then Clomid, I believe Clomid was covered by my insurance. I'm not sure. But, you know, then you pay for your ultrasounds, which were not covered by my insurance, which was kind of weird. So it was like $200 and something for ultrasound. So this is not cheap. So you have to know, you know, success rates, probability, kind of know that stuff going into this journey, and kind of do your research. There's definitely different clinics that will work with you more than so. In Atlanta, specifically, I had the choice between Shady Grove. I hope I'm saying that right. Shady Grove Fertility. I believe that was my first choice when we first moved here. And then I wound up going with Pathway Fertility, because they offered mini stimulation IVF. I keep on wanting to say stimulation. Mini stimulation IVF, and which is something that, you know, was more conducive to our budget. And so and it was still expensive. After everything was said and done with IVF, we still wound up spending about $20,000, which I've heard is, you know, on the cheaper end, because some people pay like $30,000 up to $50,000. I've heard women say they pay $50,000 for IVF. But mini stimulation IVF is not as aggressive as regular IVF, as traditional IVF, I would say. Mini stimulation, instead of taking shots every day, it's like every other day. So it's really true to the word mini stimulation. And so with that, and the reason I did that is because my AMH was fair. I was at an 8.0. My husband's stuff came back great, and so I didn't, me personally, I didn't want a lot of embryos, and so I still kind of wrestled with should we have went that route or not. Because after everything was said and done, we only ended up with 2 embryos. And I don't want to say only, because I know people that have gone through traditional IVF and don't even have that. So I don't want to downplay that as that wasn't a success. I was kind of hoping for more, if that makes sense. And so just consider your options when you get ready to go in there, and consider your family planning goals and what you want from this and whatnot, because even with 1 embryo can split into 2. So there's always that. And so if you're at the beginning stage, then definitely do your homework. Definitely consider your budget, what your family planning goals are. And those that are just on this journey, like you just did your egg retrieval and you just did your transfer, definitely take it one day at a time. And I will be a hypocrite if I say I did that, but that's like me looking back on it now, taking it one day at a time. Because our first transfer failed in February. We had our first transfer February 4th, 2021, and that did fail, and I was at rock bottom. I was at the lowest point of my life. Depression was just like, it had done taken over. I had no strength to fight back, and so I had really succumbed to depression. I just could not see forward, right? And so going to my doctor's appointments and try to, try to have another protocol and another outlook on what's to come. So we agreed to do a hysteroscopy. And so those things kind of gave me something to look forward to kind of get me out of my feelings and more into the logic side of my brain. And that really did help me out to take it just one day at a time. I just started focusing on the new protocol, focusing on the hysteroscopy, and then kind of getting back to us. Because when you're going through IVF in your relationship, marriage, you get lost in it, man. You really get lost in it. And so taking that break was really helpful. It helped us get back to us. It helped us to kind of get in the gym and to, do things that we used to like to do before IVF became like our life. And so when we went into the hysteroscopy in June of last year, my headspace was so much better, taking that break and allowing myself to grieve. And that's the one thing I want to share with you ladies. Do not be afraid to be human. I know, like with social media, like we always have to show the highlight reel of our life and always act like nothing phases us. We got it all together. Like, I'm superhuman and nothing ever bothers me. But the truth be the matter, when that camera go off, when social media go off, stuff do bother you. And that's okay to say. Like, everybody ain't the same. Everybody ain't built the same. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't go through the fire and be untouched. And so some of us, I'm very emotional. I feel everything and everything makes me feel, and that's okay. That's just who I am as a person. I don't have to be Sister Soldier and act like I got it all together for nobody. I'm just going to be, allow myself to grieve, allow myself to be human. And you don't always have to do that on social media. And don't ever think when I'm saying, like when I talk about community, it don't always have to be social media. It could be like your close group of friends, maybe somebody, a coworker, your auntie, somebody that you can confide in, and just blah. Sometimes you just have to blah. And so wherever you find yourself at in this journey, please don't ever be afraid to be human. It's okay to vocalize. I am happy for my friend that she's pregnant, but it does make me feel this way. It's okay to vocalize that. You know what I mean? You're not some kind of horrible person because you feel a way that your friend is pregnant and you've been trying for 10 years. This is me personally. And so vocalizing that sometimes just really helps you move forward. Just saying, this sucks. This just shit sucks. Sometimes it just helps you just say it and move forward. And so, again, that doesn't always have to be on a social media situation. That could just be, in a journal. That could be with your close friends. That could be with your church family. And so don't be afraid to be human. And so moving forward, like if you're in the beginning stages, definitely take it one day at a time. Especially if you just gotten that positive. Do not, I know this is so much easier said than done because I did it and I feel bad. But do not, once you see that positive, start thinking, you know, weeks down the road or da-da-da-da. And I know that's so much easier, but just, I hope that you ladies can appreciate that moment right there. That moment when you see that positive pregnancy test or that positive beta, when you get your positive beta numbers back, I really hope that you can just enjoy that moment. I know that's harder with those of us and those of you that experience loss. I would consider my failed embryo transfer in February as a loss, and it was harder for me to celebrate in July because I was just so used to bad news. But however, when I got my positive pregnancy test, I just tried to focus on being in that moment and being happy in that moment and accepting that truth right then. And so definitely easier said than done. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't. So that's just my hope for you guys. And you can see some of my past videos about our first trimester scare and things that kind of happened after the positive pregnancy test, when I thought I miscarried and all of that jazz. It was just horrible. I'm glad we got past it. And that's why I say take it a day at a time. And actually going through that helped me to celebrate a day at a time. Because when I thought I miscarried our little one, as I was driving to my emergency appointment, I kept thinking, like, because we hadn't shared with anyone that we were pregnant. And I kept thinking, I'm so afraid of his death that I never celebrated his life. That I never celebrate his life. And I'm like, if this is it, nobody knows that he even existed. Like, it just really bothered me. Like, if this is it, nobody even knew I was carrying someone. They're carrying a baby. And so after we heard his heartbeat, at that appointment, my heart literally dropped. I screamed in the room, literally yelled and shouted. I literally shouted when I heard his heartbeat. That was the most horrible time of my life ever. But I don't even know where I was going with that. I'm just about to get emotional thinking about that. Because, man, I really thought I lost my baby that day. And I said after that appointment, I'm going to celebrate his life. I made the announcement the next day. I made the announcement the next day that I was pregnant. Excuse me, y'all. I made the announcement the next day that I was pregnant because I wanted to shout it from the hills. I didn't care what happens. And, you know, that's at your discretion. And when I say shout it from the hills, I put it everywhere. Again, that is at your discretion. This is what I just chose to do on my journey. But that's definitely at your discretion. And sharing doesn't always have to be social media. Again, this could be your parents, this could be a sibling, this could be your aunt that's been walking with you and praying with you through this. This could be just a little small group of friends that you can trust, that if something were to happen, that they will, you know, pray with you, and they won't just, you know, silence you or just turn their back on you. That, you know, until you feel comfortable with sharing at a level where you feel comfortable sharing. But yeah, and those of you that are in your second trimester, I'm just gonna tell you guys that is the easiest trimester ever. I'm really probably preaching to the choir to you second and third time moms, but you first time moms, I'm gonna tell you that second trimester is the best. And whatever you can get done in that second trimester, try to get it done, because the third trimester it's ghetto. It's ghetto. So the second trimester, like, if you have things to get done with your nursery, I know like nesting probably hasn't kicked in yet, but some things that you can kind of file away at, maybe like having something to do once a week, so that it's not piling up when you go into your nesting phase, it definitely helps. And those of you that are in your third trimester, buckle up. Buckle up. Baby is moving a lot more. Your appetite is There's bananas, so these mine was the whole first trimester. I was like, I can't even have an appetite. I'm not even hungry. It's the end of my second trimester going into third. I was like, new appetite, who this? So if you had food aversions in your first trimester where you weren't hungry at all and you had to make yourself eat, don't feel bad about it, because that second, third trimester, when that kicked in, whoo, I felt like I was a bottomless pit. So, yeah, buckle up on your third trimester, man, because it gets real. It gets real out in these streets. And so my advice to you is just try to eat 3 to 6 small meals a day, and kind of like every 2 hours, to keep you from just like feeling like I gotta eat all the time. That kind of helped me out, but not really. But that's what they told me, and sometimes I did it, sometimes I didn't do it. You know, it's just one of those things. You know, you do it, you don't do it. But yeah, definitely buckle up, because it's about to get real. Your appointments are gonna start coming every week after week 36. Again, depending on your situation, but after week 36, they normally start coming every week, and it's like it becomes real. Like, it's, for me anyway, like it may be real for you for the whole thing, but going through our journey with infertility, it didn't really become real until like week 30. Like, even with feeling his kicks, even with feeling him move, for me, it just didn't really snap until week 30. Like, oh, I'm about to have a baby. And the only reason that happened was because I had like a Braxton Hicks, and I was like, oh, I'm really about to have a baby. And it really hit me that day. And so here we are now at week 40. I was supposed to be induced today. I'm not sure if that's going to actually happen. The hospital told me to give them a call 2 hours before my induction time. My induction time is at 7:40 p.m. I gave them a call at, not 7:30 p.m. And I gave them a call at 5:30. And she was like, we don't have any rooms tonight, sweetie. So I'm like, what? I was definitely not expecting that. So I'm like, what are you going to do? You want me to call back? Or like, and she was like, oh, you can try to give us a call around 8:30. So we're waiting. We're ready. Everything is packed and ready to go. We're just waiting now, because I definitely was not expecting that she would say that we don't have any rooms tonight. I was thinking like she was going to say, oh, come in at, 10 o'clock or come in at 9:30. But she was like, we don't have any rooms tonight. I'm like, what do I do with that? So we're in limbo right now. We're going to try to get as much footage as we can in for labor and delivery. We cannot wait to meet this little guy. He may just come on his own tonight. Who knows? Because today is actually his due date. Again, I don't think I put it in my last video, but my baby currently is 9 pounds as of Monday. Today is Friday, April the 8th. And on Monday, he was weighing in already at 9 pounds. So I don't know. I'm scared. I'm like, who gonna birth them? Who gonna birth them? I am. And so that's what kind of terrifies me. So hopefully they'll give me a call. She told me to give them a call back at 8 o'clock. They may have something available. So I'm like, I need y'all to do something, because I'm scared. I'm for real. I really am scared. And so, that is where we're at now, and we'll try to update you guys soon. I just wanted to get this last vlog in before it got real. And so we'll keep you posted on our labor and delivery videos, and we got so much more coming after that once we get moved and settled. So much more, but I'm just gonna keep that on the hush. Until then, peace. Bye, y'all.